I went for a job interview April 29th, 2025. I was told that I was hired and I will be compensated for this interview, but it never happened, even after multiple follow-ups. But before you go, I want to share the story of how this unfolded and what you should avoid when next you're going for a job interview. I was scrolling through Instagram on a regular day when I got a DM from this other content creator that I met at, I think, an International Women's Day event. She reached out to me. She said, oh, the company I was working for, they need a new content creator. I left and they asked me to recommend another person. And then she said she didn't want to post it on her Instagram story. She wanted to reach out to me first to see if I would be interested in the offer. Of course, I was interested in the offer. And then she told me the necessary things I should do. She gave me the contact of the person I was supposed to reach out to, and just for me to kick it off from there. I reached out to this person. We had a brief conversation via text. I think a few days later, I got a call asking me when I could come in for a physical interview. Before then, I have been briefed on the things that I was going to be doing. The brand is a creative agency. They have different, I don't want to say restaurants, but majorly restaurants that they work with. They create their social media content for them, and we settled for April 29th, 2025. The person that reached out to me already told me, oh, the place you'll be going to will be very far. It's just best you take Uber for comfort. And just because I was trying to minimize cost, I broke my journey. I took a bus from my house to Mushin. Then when I got to Mushin, I boarded an Uber from there to VI. The interview was at VI, so it was a restaurant. So I got to that restaurant, and immediately I got there, I sent a text saying, oh, I'm already here. Am I supposed to wait outside until it is 11 a.m? Because the time I was given was 11 a.m. And I think I got there around, I can't remember, maybe I'll write the time. I sent a text and the person said, oh no, don't stay outside. Enter the restaurant and tell them you're from so person. I was like, okay, cool. I entered the restaurant and I told them, oh, I'm from so person. I'm here for the job interview. And they told me to sit. I sat down, I waited for the person that was going to interview me to come, and the person didn't come until I think past 12. I was going to meet with the other content creator that was already working for them and also the social media manager. The person that was going to interview me came and told me to wait for the social media manager so that they can put me through the things they do and how they do it. And I said, okay, cool. I waited. It even rained that day. It was not easy for the second content creator to come early. So the interview started. So my interview was basically me chatting with my interviewer, asking me what my plans were, what do you do, what do you used to do before now, what do you intend to do in the future, what apps do you use, what phone do you use to record, all of those questions revolving around content creation, but to see if I know what I'm talking about. And of course I did. And so he briefed me on the things they did in their company, how they do it, the number of brands they worked for. I think he even mentioned that, oh, they have a couple of events that will be happening and that I should get ready to basically go to the events. If I am an introvert before, I have to wake up the extrovert in me so that I am prepared for any time they call me to come or go to an event to do one or two things. And I said, okay, cool. So the interview basically was me recording content with the other content creators at the events. They wanted to see what I could do in real time. I also sent a portfolio, mind you, when I was applying, but I guess that was not enough. So I recorded, I think, 2 videos. One was a drink. They were making a drink, so I recorded the process. There was already a content idea, so I recorded the process and the final drink. And then the second video was me recording the restaurant space. So it taught me a few things. So while I was recording, I was doing a lot of panning and zooming, but there was a way it wanted me to do the panning that I was not getting, and then it taught me how to do it, and truly I'm grateful for that. So it taught me that, so it was a case of you panning within a circumference. So when you are panning, most times you are panning from left to right. If you are tilting from up to bottom or from bottom to top. But this panning, this is my shutter. The panning I'm going to be doing is going in a curved version, or in a curved manner. So I'd go this way, I'm going in a curved version, and at the same time, I'm trying to zoom in. It was very difficult for me to get it at first, but eventually I got it. So it's like you're going from left to right in a curved manner, and then at the same time, you're trying to zoom in. The result is always fabulous. So I learned that day. I also met the owner of the restaurant that day. We had a brief conversation, and my interviewer introduced me to this person and said, "Oh, this is the new content creator who wants to hire, blah blah blah." When I showed him the video, he said, "Oh yeah, this is cool. You got what I was trying to teach you." And then he told me to edit it, and he was just basically praising me over and over again, like, "Oh, I know you do well. I know you this. I know you that." After I finished working, we were seated, and then he told me, "Oh, you are hired." So when he said that, I was kind of surprised because most of the jobs I have applied for, no one has ever informally said, "Oh, you are hired," right? I don't know. I was happy. I won't be happy that someone said you were hired. And then, so we had a conversation about where I was living. Obviously, I was living on the mainland, and the mainland to some of these restaurants that are on the island, the transportation cost is a lot. So I explained to him. He asked me, "Oh, when you were coming, did you take public transport or did you book Uber?" And I was honest. I said, "Oh, I took public transport from this point to this point, and then when I got to this point, I booked Uber." And then he convinced me. He said, he told me, "Oh, don't take public transport. When you start working with us fully, you would be taking Uber most times because we don't want you to ruin the equipment you'll be carrying from one location to the other," which I understood. And then he said, "Oh, that they were going to cover the transportation costs for the interview." And then he said, if when I'm going back home, I should also take Uber, that they were going to cover the cost. And I reiterated, I said, "Uber is going to be really expensive from Victoria Island to Ikotun." He said, "No problems, that they're going to take care of it. The price is not an issue." So I said, "Okay." I was so excited, like, "Oh yes, definitely going to get this job." I already anticipated working with them. And then I think while we were having that conversation, he said I should send an email, give me an email address. I should send a screenshot of how much I spent on transportation, and then they would cover the bill. And so when I got home, I think the following day, I sent the email documenting everything I spent on transportation for that day. I was even thinking maybe max 2 days later, I will be compensated. And so when I got home that day, even when I was going, I took Uber. Look at me, enjoying the ride home. It was easy, it was seamless. That journey was so smooth. I'm like, "Oh, I'm not the one covering the transportation cost." It really made me excited, not knowing that I was in for a treat. The following day, I woke up, did a couple of things, and then I decided to send the email, as well as adding screenshots of the Uber trips I took, and also explaining in the email, "Oh, from this point to this point, I used public transportation, and this is the cost." And so I sent the email, and I was thinking max 2 days they would refund my money. And then days turned to weeks, weeks turned to months. After about 3 days, when I didn't get my money, I sent a follow-up email. I didn't get a response. Then I sent my hirer a message on WhatsApp explaining that I haven't sent my money, what's going on. And he explained that oh is going to refund me, is going to take it up with the HR, whatever, and I'm going to get my money. And so I said, "Okay, no problem." In between that period where I was asking for my money, they were also requesting the video I edited for the interview. So I edited the first one, I sent it, and then I think a couple of days later, I edited the second one, and then I sent it, thinking, "Oh, these people, they are going to pay me. They dare not run away with my money." About a month after, I sent another follow-up message explaining that I haven't gotten my money, what's going on. And then he assured me that, "Oh, he's going to send an email to the CEO and they're going to pay me." So I waited again. Mind you, all of this while, I had already even taken my mind off being paid. And then I spoke to a friend, and I was giving him the details of the story, what had happened, and he said I should just reach out one more time, and that after reaching out one more time, if they don't give me my money, then I can now lock up and say, "Oh yes, these people definitely don't want to pay me this money." I was reluctant about sending that message, but eventually I sent it. It was a very long message explaining how much I was owed. As if they didn't know how much I was owed. I sent the message, and I think I'll just put a screenshot. I explained everything, like, "Oh," and till the point I'm making this video, I didn't get a response. It's either the person, okay, so the person didn't block me. I don't think the person blocked me, but that message had a double tick. So I'm sure they read it and they just chose not to respond. They received their video, they got what they wanted out of me, but I didn't get compensated. So yeah, that's the story on how I almost got the job and how I was told that I was going to be compensated and I was never compensated. So yeah. There is no body organization that protects job seekers. There is a body that protects people that have gone through domestic violence, and I think there should be one that protects job seekers as well, because every organization hiring know that they can get away with any and everything when they choose to treat job seekers anyhow. So the lesson I learned from this experience is that never ever trust people's words, trust their actions. And then when next I'm going for an interview, I would request for some things up front, and if I am not given those things, I would most likely not go for the interview. I feel like a lot of people are making money off the desperation of the fact that a lot of youths are looking for a job, and so they will treat any and everybody anyhow because they know that nobody's going to fight for you. Anytime I remember that amount that they're owing me, I'm just like, what kind of rubbish is this? Because like I can never forget, and every time I'm always praying that I meet that person someday. But even if I meet the person someday, what do I want to tell them? What do I want to do to them? What power do I have? None. So just prevent yourself from getting scammed. And that's all for today. Subscribe to my channel and I'll see you next week. Okay, let me close here. Peace. Bye.